Hey guys, I'm Rue, and in today's video I will be showing you all the books that I got in May. It's a total of 4 physical books and 2 ebooks. I'm really happy with this haul because it's the first time in months, if not years, that I actually read more than I bought, and it's probably made a tiny dent into the massive TBR that you can see behind me. Hopefully my lack of book buying will continue until at least the end of July, and then there's Yelk, and then I'll buy enough books to last me for years. Let me go through the ebooks before I get into the physical books. The first ebook that I bought was The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. I got this book on Kindle for £1.89. It's such a good deal, especially if you consider how large that book is. Priory is a standalone adult fantasy book. I honestly don't know that much about this book other than the fact that it's an incredibly long book told from the perspective of 6 narrators, and that it has LGBT plus representation, as well as it being an Asian inspired story that has dragons. I can't wait to read this book because I've been a massive fan of Samantha Shannon since her first book in 2012, and she is an automatic author buy for me. The second ebook that I purchased in May is The Bride Test by Helen Hoang. I absolutely loved her first book, The Kiss Quotient. I did a whole review on it, so if you'd like to see it, please go and click the link above. I was a bit hesitant to purchase this book on ebook because I really loved having the physical copy when I read The Kiss Quotient because I annotated all the parts that I loved. But at £1.13 I had to buy that book regardless. I will probably most likely end up buying the physical copy of the book after July. But if I do end up reading it between now and July, I will love it so much. But I mainly purchased it in case I wanted to read it before I buy the physical book, and if I fancied a contemporary romance in Korea. The Bride Test is a companion novel to The Kiss Quotient. It features characters from that book and has own voice representation for autism. This book focuses on an arranged marriage which could potentially become a love marriage. I honestly can't wait to read it because I love the Asian representation in The Kiss Quotient, so I am 100% sure that I'll also love The Bride Test. The first physical book that I bought in May was Aurora Rising by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. For those of you that don't know, these authors collaborated on a series called The Illuminae Files, and that series is one of my most favourite series of all time. It's such a good sci-fi series, and so when I found out that these authors were not only collaborating again but on another sci-fi series, this book became so high on my TBR list. On release day I was looking around central London and I couldn't find this book, and I was so sad, but then I found out that Forbidden Planet were selling signed copies, and so I pre-ordered them even though the book was already out, and so now I have a signed nameplate from my favourite authors. I don't really know much about this book and this series. I feel like it's a sort of Star Trek book in the sense they have like a mission and they have to complete it, but that's all I know, that's all I want to know. Hopefully I'll get round to this book soon. Because of the Illuminae Files, both authors have become automatic purchase buys for me as well. The next 2 books that I hauled in May is The Wrath and the Dawn by Renee Ahdieh and The Rose and the Dagger by Renee Ahdieh. I originally had the UK paperback editions of these books, but then I saw it in a charity shop for £3 each, and I much prefer the US editions, and so I bought these books. I unhauled the UK paperback editions to one of the Emilys in my life because Renee Ahdieh is going to Yelk, and so I wanted to give Emily the chance to read those books and potentially want to get them signed by Renee Ahdieh. Also, in general, I prefer US paperbacks because their spines are far more flexible, and so I have to worry less about the spines creasing. What I know about this duology is that it's a Hades and Persephone retelling. I know that the lead female character wants to go and kill the Sultan because what the Sultan does is that he goes and has a new wife every night, or a new female, and the female ends up dying, and the female main character is like, no, I'm gonna avenge my best friend. And that's all I really know. I am really looking forward to reading this book because I've heard quite a lot of good things, and it's been on my TBR for a while, and it's definitely a series that's high on my read list. The final book that I hauled in May is Finale by Stephanie Garber. Finale is the last book in the Caraval trilogy. This book is signed by the author, and the special edition I got says only those who persevere can find their true ending. This is my favourite cover out of the 4 available. I have read Caraval, but I haven't read Legendary. I wanted to wait until I had Finale and so I could reread all the books, because I don't really remember much what happens in Caraval. But this series follows 2 sisters, Scarlett and Tella. Scarlett gets wrapped up in this circus game where she has to win the game in order to save her sister's life. I didn't mind Caraval. I felt like it was quite an average read, but I liked it enough to continue buying the rest of the books in the series, but I wasn't completely on the hype train. I don't think I'll get round to these books soon because I still remember enough of Caraval to not want to reread it, so perhaps in a few years' time. I also got one arc in May, and that was Heart and Soul, but I didn't like that book. I did a whole rant review, so I'm not really going to include it in this haul because it's not worth both of our times. So that was my haul. Tell me down below what you guys think, if I should push any of these books higher up on my TBR. I purchased a new camera, and so I'm still getting used to using it. So you guys will see a mixture of videos from my new camera and from my old camera because I do have quite a lot archived. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe if you want to see more of me, and I hope to see you guys again soon. Bye!